What was a typical Roman meal? Have you ever wondered what the Romans feasted on during their grand banquets? The meals of ancient Rome were not just about sustenance, they reflected social status and culture. A typical Roman meal varied greatly based on one's wealth and class. Let's break down the daily eating habits of the Romans. The day began with ientaculum, which was a simple breakfast served at dawn. Wealthy Romans enjoyed bread accompanied by cheese, olives, or cold meats. In contrast, the poorer classes had a more modest breakfast, often consisting of just bread. As the day progressed, around mid-morning, Romans would have a light lunch known as prandium. This meal typically included cold meats, bread, and fresh fruit. It was a quick meal that allowed people to refuel for the day ahead. The main event was the cena, traditionally served in the afternoon or early evening. For the upper classes, this meal was a grand affair that could last several hours. It often began around 2 in the afternoon and could continue well into the night, especially when guests were invited. The cena was usually a multi-course meal. It started with gustatio, an appetizer course featuring salads, eggs, or lightly cooked vegetables. This was designed to aid digestion and prepare the palate for the main course. The centerpiece of the meal was the main course, known as mensae primi. This included a variety of meats such as pork, lamb, young goat, poultry, and fish. Wealthy Romans sometimes indulged in exotic delicacies like dormice or snails. Meat was often cut and served by slaves, highlighting the social hierarchy of the time. Accompanying the meats were vegetables, legumes like beans and lentils, and grains. Cheese was also a staple, with Romans producing both hard and soft varieties. To finish off the meal, Romans enjoyed secondi mensae, which was a dessert course featuring fresh fruit, nuts, and occasionally sweetened dishes or wine. Dining was not just about the food, it was a social event, especially among the elite. The cena was held in a formal dining room called the triclinium, where guests reclined on couches arranged around low tables. The seating arrangements reflected social status, and the dining room was often lavishly decorated to showcase wealth. For the lower classes, meals were much simpler. Their diets primarily consisted of bread made from barley or millet, vegetables, and occasionally cheese or meat if they could afford it. Soldiers and common folk often relied on a staple porridge called pulse, made from grains like barley or emmer wheat, sometimes enhanced with vegetables or bits of meat. Understanding what a typical Roman meal looked like gives us a glimpse into their social structure, economy, and daily life. The contrast between the elaborate meals of the wealthy and the simpler diets of the lower classes illustrates the divisions in Roman society. Roman food culture has influenced later European culinary traditions, including the importance of bread and wine and the social aspect of communal dining. In summary, a typical Roman meal was structured around several daily eating occasions, with the cena as the central, often elaborate meal for the wealthy featuring multiple courses from eggs and salads to meat dishes and fruit desserts, while the lower classes maintained simpler, grain-based diets. This pattern highlights the connection between food, social status, and cultural practices in Roman society.